The weakness in the stock market that started last Wednesday, particularly in the technology sector, was primarily due, in my opinion, to investors being reminded about the vulnerabilities in an economic system dependent on software and semiconductor chips. CrowdStrike took down the Windows computer systems worldwide with an update to its software that monitors for hacking attempts and viruses. The update was designed to refresh threat detection code, but instead caused Windows-based computer systems to shut down and then endlessly start to reboot, making them useless in what is called a doom loop. CrowdStrike is a major provider of malware and virus protection to a wide array of companies, and consequently, a bit of negligence in updating its software can have major worldwide repercussions. Both the Vanguard and Fidelity brokerage websites work normally today for me. Schwab could not process orders. I entered two orders at Schwab before I realized that their system was not operating properly. Both orders would have filled if I had entered them in either my Vanguard or Fidelity accounts, but the Schwab account is still showing that the orders are open, even though they are day limit orders and the market closed almost 2 hours ago. The current status is unknown. I have no idea when Schwab will report the orders as filled or unfilled. The ease with which one minor software update could take down computer networks worldwide highlights the vulnerability of complex and interconnected systems and the damage that can be caused by simple negligence of one software company. And when something like this occurs, I ask myself, does anyone really understand the complexity of the internet? I don't think so. Another reminder about the modern economy's dependence on computers arose when Trump said that Taiwan should pay the U.S. for defending it, indicating that the U.S. would not interfere with a Chinese invasion or blockade without some recurring and large payment of an unknown amount and unknowable because Trump has no idea what he's talking about. I discussed Trump's statements in my last video, which I will link in the More column. His comments are idiotic as those that he made when he invited Russia to attack a NATO member unless the NATO member spends 2% of its annual GDP on defense, which is a guideline, not a treaty requirement. Trump does not do thinking through the ramifications of his words before rambling on, usually incoherently and in a totally thoughtless manner. Taiwan already pays for almost all of its defense needs through purchases from U.S. defense firms. The problem here is that the U.S. economy is dependent on semiconductor chips manufactured in Taiwan. With access cut off for just a brief time, entire U.S. industries would have to shut down production. Taiwan Semiconductor supplies the world with about 90% of the most advanced chips used throughout the manufacturing processes, including in chips used in cell phones, automobiles, defense systems, and computers. Trump's statements about defending Taiwan reminded investors about the major weakness in the U.S. supply chain that could quickly send the world economy into a major downturn with China invading Taiwan or blockading the island. There is an ongoing effort to build more chip plants in the United States and Western countries, but that will take about 6 years for the U.S. to reach a 20% share of global advanced chip production and that is an optimistic projection. That still leaves about 80% reliance on at-risk foreign sources. Xi has stated publicly that he has told the Chinese military to prepare for an assault on Taiwan to occur no later than 2027. He has not green-lighted that assault. He has just told his military to be prepared by that date. The Biden administration did manage to pass legislation called the CHIPS and Science Act, which will accelerate the building of chip plants in the United States. This reliance on foreign sources for chips, particularly from one manufacturer whose plants are in Taiwan, is a major national security and economic issue for the United States that remains unresolved.